Have you ever stopped to think about how much time you waste in the average video game not actually playing it? Menus, loading screens, cutscenes, all of them represent valuable time that you spend doing nothing. Even when you finish the game, there's a big non-playable chunk at the end. The credits. Haha! Well done! You completed the epic quest! Here is your reward! A load of scrolling names of people you don't know. But you better stay till the end, because you don't want to miss that stinger! Today though, we're going to highlight just a few games that make up for this egregious issue by allowing you to actually, do anything at all. We just appreciate being able to interact a little bit. It helps keep things interesting. Not every developer can create Disney-level entertaining credit sequences, after all. We do, all joking aside, appreciate the huge amount of effort put into building a game by everyone involved, and these people do deserve to be credited for their work. It's just that I only do so much reading in a whole year, and I don't want all of it to consist of the names of everyone who worked on Assassin's Creed 3, thank you very much. I'm Peter from TripleJump, and here are 10 video games in which you play through the credits. Number 10. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Nintendo's Smash Bros. Series has a long history of interactive end credits. Specifically, we're spotlighting the most recent entry, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, for the Switch. Here, players get to enjoy a surprising shoot-'em-up sequence as a reward for hours spent pummeling Kirby and Pikachu into submission. Rack up a high score as you destroy the names of developers while zipping around the screen in both top-down and side-scrolling style. It's fun. It's also worth tipping our hats, however, to its predecessors. Super Smash Bros. Melee did something similar, but with an on-rails first-person viewpoint. Players were encouraged to blast those developers' names from the cockpit of some kind of interstellar attack craft. All good so far, but this is a fighting game series, right? Well, fortunately, the Wii U and 3DS versions of Smash Bros. Stay a bit more on brand. It allows players to attack the names of the developers with good old-fashioned fists and feet, or in this particular case, claws and fire breath, in order to reveal a lovely image in the background. It's nice when there's a point to the otherwise random violence. Brings a tear to my eye, in fact. Number 9. Katamari Damacy. The word katamari can be translated from Japanese to mean clump or mass, and damacy relates to tamashi, which can be translated as soul or spirit. If you know the gameplay and style of the Katamari games, you'll understand that this actually kind of makes sense. You'll also understand that it's about the only thing that does make sense in the crazy world of Katamari Damacy. Throughout 2004's PS2 roll 'em up, you take on the role of a tiny, wide-headed galactic prince who has to roll a sticky ball over progressively larger things. It sounds like nonsense, but it's actually a lot of fun. It is also nonsense though, to be clear. As the size of the game progresses, so does the size of the ball you've been rolling. And you'll go from scooping up things like drawing pins and dice to cars, elephants, and beyond. By the time you reach the end of the game, your ball will be so big that you can roll up entire continents. And that's exactly what you'll be doing as the staff names scroll by. It's a really satisfying feeling, rolling around the globe with nothing getting in your way. Just try not to think about the implications of what's happening to the entire population of the planet. Number 8. Vanquish. The favourite game of Aston Martin owners the world over, Vanquish marks one of 2 appearances from Platinum Games on this list. Their underappreciated 2010 action game provided a stylish and innovative take on the third-person shooter genre. It won the hearts of critics with its action-packed gameplay and bullet hell shooter influences, even if that critical acclaim didn't quite translate into stellar sales performance. Those who did purchase and finish the game surely had a great time with it though. So much so that they'd likely want to treat the names of the team responsible for this experience with the utmost respect. It's interesting then that Vanquish allows players to shoot the development team right in their little faces with rapid-fire plasma cannons. Yes, the Vanquish credit sequence takes us into outer space and allows us to mercilessly blast incoming meteors, each of which displays the names and portraits of the lovely people responsible for the game. It's your job to turn them all into space dust. Apart from producer Atsushi Inaba, that is, who appears on an asteroid that's apparently impossible to destroy. There's always one who doesn't play fair, isn't there? Number 7. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. In 1993, LucasArts, also making its first of 2 appearances on this list, created this tribute to classic horror movies for the Mega Drive and SNES. Zombies Ate My Neighbors, or just Zombies in Europe and Australia, is a top-down run-and-gun shooting game in which the player takes control of a courageous kid on a mission to save his neighbors from... well, yeah, you guessed it, zombies. These brain nibblers aren't the only horror movie nasty to contend with, though, with cheerleader napping aliens and hedge-leaping werewolves being 2 more creatures terrorizing the hood. Once the game has been cleared and our young Samaritan has rescued all of his neighbors, though, there is still a bit more to come. The player has an interactive credit sequence in store, in which the LucasArts office itself is opened up for exploration, complete with more neighbors who need rescuing and more creatures that need defeating. I sure hope this isn't an accurate representation of LucasArts, though. Crawling with axe-wielding dolls, poisonous toadstools, gelatinous blobs, and the antagonist from Day of the Tentacle, it's safe to say that this environment is not conducive to getting work done. God, it's a wonder LucasArts got any games released at all. Although at least we now know the real reason that the studio disappeared. Oh, horrifying. Number 6. Street Fighter EX3. Street Fighter EX3 for the PlayStation 2 was a launch title for the console in Japan, and continued the already venerable series' heritage into the PS2 era. While the graphics were presented in 3D, it still maintained the 2D fighting gameplay so beloved by fans. It also allowed players to pick from such iconic series mainstays as Cracker Jack, Area, and Darun Mister. Oh, and Ryu and Ken are there too, thank God. After beating your chosen game mode in Street Fighter EX3, you're treated to even more interactive violence during the credits. Use your fighter to batter an endless gang of generic thugs as the staff names roll by. Eagle-eyed Capcom fans might notice that one of the thugs bears a striking resemblance to Final Fight mainstay Andore. Actually, that's when things start to get a bit weird. Every time you defeat Andore, he comes back slightly bigger. This means that by the end of the credits, he's swollen into an absolute colossus of a man. I mean, I know Andore is literally based on real-life Colossus Andre the Giant, but even the 8th wonder of the world himself had his limits, you know? Number 5. Sam & Max Hit the Road. Sam & Max Hit the Road was a LucasArts-created point-and-click adventure game released when such things were all the rage. The popular duo, first seen in a 1987 comic book series, were perfect fodder for the genre. A pair of zany private investigators solving crimes throughout time and space. At the beginning of the game, the fedora-wearing dog and the hyperactive rabbit thing are tasked with retrieving a Yeti who escaped from a nearby carnival. In the outrageous adventure that ensues, the pair eventually manages to bring back a Yeti, in a way, and then settle in for the evening to enjoy the sideshows. And that's where the interactive credits come in. As the ending music plays, our anthropomorphic heroes unwind with a bit of wholesome target shooting. Well done, guys, you deserve it. You managed to save the Yetis and close yet another case. Wait, are they using actual guns? That's a bit less than sporting, gents. Other people want to play these games too, you know? Number 4. WarioWare Smooth Moves. Bonkers quickfire party game WarioWare Smooth Moves was released for the Wii back in 2007. Featuring micro games that last about 5 seconds each, players are required to perform such feats as guiding people to the correct latrine, hula hooping, and picking noses. With the game itself having such a limited grasp on sanity, one would likely expect the credit sequence to host some kind of nonsensical interactive element, and WarioWare Smooth Moves does not disappoint. Presenting the player with the Miis of members of the development team, WarioWare Smooth Moves enables us to decide exactly how much time each developer gets to spend on a stage, soaking up the adulation before we dump them into a hole. What's that, Ryuichi Kitanishi? You helped produce the game? Oh, good for you. Now get into the pit. It's really quite good fun. Smooth Moves isn't the only entry in the WarioWare franchise that lets you interact with the credits. WarioWare DIY, for example, allows you to tap the little UFOs that are carrying the staff names across the screen. Wario clearly likes interactive credits almost as much as he likes onions, money, and twiddly mustaches. A true man of culture, that one. Number 3. Nier Automata. Massive late game information here, folks, so if you would prefer to remain unspoiled, skip to the timestamp on screen. Okay, ready? Ready. Never content to do things by halves or take the road most traveled, Platinum Games took the idea of playable credits and turned the dial up to 11 with Nier Automata. This post-apocalyptic adventure follows the story of androids 2B and 9S as they uncover the mysteries of a shattered world and decipher what became of their creators. Bleak yet beautiful, Nier Automata continuously takes players by surprise, shifting gameplay styles and introducing new ideas at an impressive rate. One such idea is multiple, linked, and hidden endings that players must uncover to experience the full story. One particular ending, Ending E, is only accessible once an especially grueling credits minigame is completed. The bullet hell style interlude throws waves of destructive orbs at players, expecting them to fail again and again. That's right, it's a credits sequence you can fail. This game is nothing if not innovative. When you are overwhelmed, though, the game presents you with encouraging comments from other players around the world, urging you to give it another go. Die enough times and you will be offered a rescue from someone else, making things a whole lot easier. Once you finish the credits, a huge decision awaits. Are you prepared to sacrifice your save data in exchange for helping another player through their own credits ordeal? It's a real test of character for the player, and a fascinating and thematically appropriate move by the developers. Number 2. The Typing of the Dead. Alright, this next one actually seems fairly obvious when you think about it. Credits are basically just a load of words on the screen, and Sega's 2001 Dreamcast oddity, The Typing of the Dead, is also just a load of words on the screen, but with zombies in the background. Okay? And if you've been able to interact with all of the words in the main game, it stands to reason that you can interact with all of the words in the credits. In that way, The Typing of the Dead does not disappoint. As the credits roll, the player is invited to type out the names of the development staff that appear on the screen. It's a surefire way of actually making you take notice of the names, and it also nicely continues the established gameplay. You can actually do this with any game, too. Just open your laptop when the credits are rolling and tap away. And be sure to post your high scores in the comments below. Oh, I love a competition. But what's your reward for diligently typing out the developers' names in The Typing of the Dead? Well, dancing zombies popping out of the cryogenic tanks in the background. And I don't think you can reasonably ask for more than that. And number 1, Flower. We'll end this list with what might be the most zen credit sequence ever created. PS3 Wind Simulator Flower was critically acclaimed back in 2003 for being an original and compelling experience that instilled positive emotions in all who played it. Each level sees you entering a flower's dream, controlling the wind, and transporting petals from location to location, bringing light and colour to the world as you go. The credits of the game play out like an additional level, only this time the names of the developers bloom from the flowers as the fertile wind passes by. Once you finally reach the end of the sequence, the remaining credits rise up into a clear night sky, complete with shooting stars as the petals circle around in the breeze. It's such a beautiful experience, it almost makes you forget you're playing a game at all. It transcends such petty concepts as competitiveness and bragging rights among your online friends, and it just makes you appreciate what a magic experience video games can be. There is also a trophy for opening up every flower in the credit sequence, so if you want to be competitive with your friends, you can still do that, I suppose. Now why don't you head to the video description and see the credits of who helped make this video, and interact with them in some way. I mean, all I can think of is following us on social media, but if you can think of anything more inventive, maybe flower related, that would be nice. Send flowers to the office. Yeah, no one's ever sent me flowers to the office.